This is ABC.
Coming up on the 10 o'clock report, demonstrators warn racism is at a boiling point in Grand Forks. AIDS protesters in Washington, D.C. say the smoke is growing thicker over the development of AIDS drugs. And the creator of the Muppets is remembered in a colorful service. John Wheeler says there may be rain, but there's definitely warmer weather ahead. And Pat Sweeney with the Twins and Sports Minuses. I'm Kevin Dean. The news is next.
Loading up the camera, take another picture, you wanna get it right. A very pretty sight, a GF photo. We've got the look. We've got the look. We've got the look. You take the picture, then we get the colors too. And everything we ever do, we do for you. At GF photo, now you know we've got the look.
It's a pre-Memorial Day sale happening now at your locally owned Home of Economies throughout North Dakota. Everything you need for an enjoyable summer is right here and on sale, like a deluxe thermos barbecue grill with over $20 savings. Take advantage of lawn and garden items, sports equipment, grid and paint, and much, much more. It's a spectacular savings event that you won't want to miss. Home of Economies pre-Memorial Day sale.
Home of Economies, where you buy.
Grand Forks, Grafton, and Devils Lake.
From WDAZ News in Grand Forks, Kevin Dean, meteorologist John Wheeler, and Pat Sweeney, Sports. This is your home team with the 10 o'clock report.
Good evening. Anyone who believes in the old adage, you can't fight City Hall, may have a different opinion after what happened at tonight's City Council meeting. Council members backed down on their plans to rebuild several city streets after residents, armed with petitions in opposition, showed up to voice their concerns. The city wants to reconstruct Walnut, Chestnut, and Cottonwood streets between 1st and 8th Avenues South and a 7-block stretch between 3rd and 5th Streets North. But even with the city offering to pay 75% of the bill, those affected say it will still cost them too much.
I do have 2 pages here, partial pages, of names of people who said, no, we don't want, and the statement is, oppose any reconstruction of Walnut Street from 1st to 8th Avenue South.
Everyone else, without exception, when they heard the words petition Walnut Street, hey, give it to me, they'd hold it up against the doorpost and sign it most eagerly. They did not want to have the work done on Walnut Street.
With those comments in mind, the council voted to send the projects back to committee for further study. In other action tonight, the council decided to make residents with phones 50 cents richer every month. It voted to rescind the charge for enhanced 911 service as of July 1st, but it may reinstate it after an E911 contract is signed. Some Grand Forks residents think there's a different kind of emergency brewing in the city. They say racism has reached a boiling point and is leading to violence in the Grand Forks school system. Today, a group calling itself Concerned Citizens Against Prejudice took to the streets to get the attention of City Hall. Patrick Roddy has more.
80 people marched down University Avenue today to draw attention to what they say is violence due to prejudice, discrimination, and racism, particularly within the Grand Forks school system. The group, calling itself Concerned Citizens Against Prejudice and consisting of almost 50% high school students, brought its message to City Hall for a meeting with the mayor.
I was distressed by the quote in the paper when the school said, we didn't make the problem, the parents have the problem. Well, you know, let's not blame everything on the parents.
It's almost like it's alcoholic in the state of denial. And you can't resolve a situation until people are willing to accept the fact that it's happening.
So a formal request has been made for a task force to study, address, and remedy the effects of these problems. And though nothing definite has been decided, Mayor Michael Polovich says he is concerned and will meet with CAP representatives and consider the task force.
I think this is an excellent turnout for the beginnings of what I consider a very positive move as far as the city is concerned, and I can assure you that we will move on.
But all this does not come without some controversy. So you're against this march or this rally, I think?
Well, absolutely. I don't mind people marching and expressing their viewpoint and demanding that I accept their viewpoint if they deserve the honor. You know what I mean? If you want me to accept you, then don't walk around with long hair and looking like a goofy fool and living off of the working people.
Patrick Roddy, WDAZ News, Grand Forks.
Protesters in Washington are impatient with the government's efforts to develop drugs to help AIDS victims. About 1,000 AIDS demonstrators clashed with police outside the National Institute of Health today. The protesters shouted, "Get to work," and hung red streamers from trees to show their frustration with the red tape they say is holding up research. More than 80 were arrested. A 7-hour hostage crisis in a Florida church is finally over after the gunman apparently took his own life. Police have identified the man as Douglas Pearson, reportedly a member of the Sebastian by the Sea Episcopal Church in Melbourne Beach. Pearson shot and wounded 2 people and was holding 1 hostage when police stormed the church with tear gas. Violent protests in the Gaza Strip and other Israeli-occupied areas left 3 Palestinians dead and a disputed number wounded today. The violence was sparked by the shooting deaths of 7 Palestinians yesterday by a suspect said to be a former Israeli soldier. The killings touched off riots in which 7 more Palestinians were killed, allegedly by Israeli soldiers. Officials of the PLO are demanding UN troops be sent into the Israeli-occupied territories to protect residents. And one PLO official vows the organization won't be silent following the slayings. The U.S. is going to pick up the tab for Manuel Noriega's defense. The government says it wants to make sure the deposed Panamanian leader gets a fair trial on charges related to drug trafficking. Noriega is reportedly going to sign papers that say he'll reimburse the government once it releases $20 million of his frozen assets. In a Grand Forks County courtroom today, a judge has denied a request to move Marcus Schumacher's trial to another county. Schumacher is the Devil's Lake man charged in the October 1988 shooting death of 17-year-old Maynard Clothier and the wounding of 21-year-old Bradley Boswell in downtown Grand Forks. Schumacher had been sentenced to 12 years in prison after pleading guilty to reduced charges in a plea agreement, but he later withdrew his guilty plea and asked for a jury trial. Schumacher's attorney, E.J. Rose of Bismarck, asked the trial be moved because of adverse publicity. But District Judge Bruce Bowman ruled today news accounts of the case have been fair and would not prevent Schumacher from finding an impartial trial. No trial date has been set. A former Grand Forks stockbroker charged with defrauding investors of more than $400,000 made his first appearance today in Grand Forks County Court. 41-year-old Lionel Locke faces a total of 26 counts of fraudulent practices in the sale of securities and selling securities as a non-registered dealer. The investigation into Locke's business dealings began more than a year ago, based on complaints from 17 investors who said money they gave Locke was missing. Much of this morning's proceeding was spent arguing whether to impose a suggested $50,000 bond.
The state of North Dakota and the federal government through the Commodities Futures Trading Commission has taken away all of his assets. They did that first. Okay, then they come in, the state of North Dakota, the same party, the securities commissioner, comes in and then charges him. That's a neat way to imprison somebody prior to trial, and I think a very unacceptable and unconstitutional way to do it.
County Magistrate David Vigeland set bond at $50,000, and Locke remains behind bars in the Grand Forks County Jail. A preliminary hearing has been set for June 25th. If found guilty, Locke could be sentenced to 10 years in prison and $10,000 fine on each of the 26 counts he faces. Investors on Wall Street had another big day today, setting another record close. Stocks were up 24 points at the closing bell. There was sadness in the hearts, but not in the ceremony today, as the nation said goodbye to Muppet maker Jim Henson. We'll have that story and more news when the 10 o'clock report continues.
The news, brought to you by the Branding Iron. The Branding Iron is your one-stop Western shop for authentic Western clothing or unique gift ideas, like handcrafted beadwork, turquoise and Black Hills gold jewelry, Pendleton blankets and star quilts, as well as souvenir items and other gift ideas. for great gifts with a Western flair. Shop the Branding Iron in Devil's Lake.
We're the people who really care. We have it at the Branding Iron.
Where's my ring?
Accidents do happen.
Your ring? Is it down there?
Well, I don't know. I just took it off to do the dishes.
That's why almost anything you buy with the First Bank's check is now protected against loss, theft, fire, or damage for 90 days from purchase.
Can you see it?
All at no additional charge. So even though you may never need it,
Can't see a thing. Flip on that light, would you?
we're here in case you do.
It was down there.
Buyer protection checking, now at First Banks.
The U.S. Supreme Court today upheld North Dakota's regulation of liquor sold at 2 military bases. The High Court says states may impose labeling and reporting requirements on liquor sold on bases within their borders. North Dakota requires all liquor sold in the state to be distributed through a state-controlled system. Out-of-state liquor distributors must put a label on each bottle sold at the Grand Forks and Minot air bases saying it's for consumption only on base. Federal officials contend those requirements would cost the government $200,000 a year to abide by North Dakota rules. Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev won't get the chance to see billboards in Minneapolis that show him promoting a Minnesota-made vodka. The liquor distributor is taking them down as a show of respect. Gorbachev will visit Minneapolis next month after his superpower summit with President Bush. The creator of the Muppets got what he wished for at his memorial service: happy songs, upbeat words, and a host of his Muppet pals in attendance. Jim Henson, who died last Wednesday, left written instructions that he wanted his service to be a happy occasion, with mourners wearing any color but black. The thousands who attended today's 2.5-hour service in New York heard Big Bird sing "It's Not Easy Being Green." The service closed with Muppets and Muppeters singing a medley of children's songs. Henson's widow Jane told those gathered to enjoy life to the fullest, because Jim always did. It looked like it was going to rain today, but that's about all it did. It was mild enough to get outdoors and enjoy, even though there wasn't much sunshine to soak up. Maybe a little bit of water. John says tomorrow should be brighter. He's next with the forecast.
You can't have your cake and eat it too. I mean, you can't get a family car with air conditioning, cassette power, everything, and expect to save money. I mean, I'm sorry, it can't be done.
Breakthrough, a loaded Ford Taurus with 7.9 financing or $900 cash back for a total savings of $1,600 at your Northland Ford dealer now. Quality people, quality products.
Okay, so I was wrong.
A banana actually has more calories than this serving of Bridgeman Premium Light Vanilla. So if you're having a banana split, you may want to leave out the fruit. Just 11 peanuts have more fat than this scoop of Bridgeman Premium Light. So if you're passing up dessert, you must be nuts.
If you're on Medicare, you can enjoy paid-in-full doctor bills plus Blue Cross Blue Shield advantages, all at a new lower premium cost. It's yours now with Medicare Choice, the new lower-cost Medicare supplement from Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Dakota. If you're 65 or over, you owe it to yourself and your budget to find out more about Blue Cross Blue Shield Medicare Choice. It's one of the new choices from an old friend of mine, Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Dakota.
Here it comes, the Goodyear all-season radial tire sale at Schumacher Goodyear. The road-handling all-season radials you need at the price you want, like the weather-beating Goodyear Tiempo, on sale for only $29.95 in size P155/80R13 white wall. But you've got to hurry. This sale is going on right now. Drive into Schumacher Goodyear and drive away on sale price Goodyear all-season radials.
Good evening. The satellite picture taken late this evening shows the clouds breaking up across the Red River Valley, and right in through here is a line of what's trying to be a line of showers and thunder showers. In fact, right now there are really only 3 or 4 showers in progress south of the border. A general area of light rain up in here, and right in through here, a couple of scattered thunder showers. 1 or 2 of them fairly heavy. Let's look at the Weather Service radar, and it is picking up one fairly heavy thunder shower right now just in the Grafton area and just to the east of there up through Walsh County and east of there in Minnesota. Another little isolated thunder shower on down there just to the south of Dickey County in northern Brown County right now in South Dakota. This storm is moving to the southeast at about 15 miles an hour. This storm is moving just about due east at about 15 miles an hour, and that's all the rain on the radar right now. But there was quite a bit of rain underneath those showers. This one right here near Grafton has been producing some pea-sized hail. Let's go back to the satellite picture and take a look at what's behind this little system. Not very much. Clearing out in through here. A nice general partly cloudy sky over eastern Montana, and that's what we should be in for tomorrow. In fact, if you take a look at the entire western part of the country, we've got clear skies in the middle coming up for us tomorrow, and then a lot of cloud cover. That's because there's a great big storm out over the western part of the U.S. that should be slowly moving our direction and hopefully bring some rain sometime in the next week. But in the meantime, we're going to see warmer, very nice spring-like temperatures developing across the plains with a good, strong southerly flow in the upper atmosphere setting up. It'll bring some nice temperatures our way. 66 at Grand Forks today. We should be about 10 degrees better than that tomorrow. Morning low is 52, and we reported a trace today. Devil's Lake hit 75, Grafton 67. No rain report from Grafton. We'll try and get that tomorrow. Rugby 77. Down at Fargo 65, Lidgerwood, North Dakota 62. Other reports in eastern North Dakota, Valley City and Jamestown both hit 70 today. Warroad and Thief River Falls reporting some sprinkles of rain. Bismarck a trace. Winnipeg, no rain and 68 degrees. And a couple of other rain reports. Edinburgh reporting almost an inch and a half of rain. And the Ashley area in southern North Dakota also getting a little bit better than an inch. National satellite showing the isolated showers and thunder showers we have in our region. Most of the rainfall is down here in the southeastern quadrant of the nation. Some heavy thunderstorms there. Louisville, Kentucky, picking up 2 inches of rain, and rain showers also developing out along the west coast. Those are some good showers out there. That's the rain that will hopefully move our way by the early part of next week. The latter part of this week. Forecast map for tomorrow will show clear skies across the region, low pressure developing in Montana. This low is really a piece of that storm breaking off from the one out west. That'll move across the region, giving us a chance of thunder showers about Wednesday. But other than that, I think this week is going to be mostly dry with nice warm temperatures. And then by the weekend, maybe as soon as Friday, we'll start to get some good rains, I hope, out of that western storm. Forecast in detail right after this.
Every year, more than 16,000 tons of trash are thrown out along Minnesota roads and highways. Who would do something like that? Don't waste our state.
Wouldn't it be great if you were at a party and suddenly you could read people's minds? And wouldn't it be great if you knew that Candace Robertson wanted beer? Really great beer like Keystone, the fresh, cold-filtered beer in a can that tastes like beer in a bottle because of Keystone's specially lined can. And wouldn't it be great if later that evening you and Candace went to Vegas? Yeah! Cold-filtered Keystone and Keystone Light, bottled beer taste in a can. Wouldn't that be great?
Right now, Grand Forks 62 degrees, 47 the dew point, relative humidity 58%, barometer steady now, and the wind still out of the south at 15. Our forecast tonight, a few isolated thunderstorms, actually just 2 in proper. Grand Forks will not get any rain, just that one cell will continue to move to the east. Otherwise, mostly clear. Winds will become westerly at 5 to 15, and lows will be down in the upper 40s to around 50 tonight. For tomorrow, a nice day coming up. In fact, a beautiful day. We'll have sunny skies, warm temperatures. Winds will be light, under 10 miles an hour. Temperatures 75 to 80 degrees across the area tomorrow, with the warmest readings found in the west. Partly cloudy tomorrow night, 50 to 55, and partly cloudy and very nice and warm on Wednesday, with widely scattered late afternoon or nighttime thunderstorms on Wednesday. And the extended forecast, the beautiful weather should hold through Friday. A couple of slight chances of rain, one on Wednesday, another one on Friday, and then it looks like a pretty good chance of rain as we move into Memorial Day weekend. But a good week coming up. Back with the rest of the news after this.
loans fast at Valley Bank.
Announcing the Buick Hawks' biggest deal ever, with rebates up to $3,000 on Buick's classic Park Avenue for 1990. Get up to $1,000 from Buick, and we'll double it for an additional rebate up to $2,000 from the Buick Hawks. It all adds up to $3,000 in rebates. The biggest deal in our history. Big rebates from Buick. Double rebates from the Buick Hawks. Rebates up to $3,000 on all Buick Park Avenue. But hurry, offer ends soon at your Buick Hawk dealer.
Make your barbecues and summertime get-togethers a huge success with a stop at L&M Meats South. L&M Meats has a great selection of meats perfect for grilling out, like special order cuts, homemade Polo sausage and bratwurst, and other specialty items. Plus, L&M Meats is giving away a gas grill. Register at either store. L&M Meats is open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Stop in. L&M Meats South does their best to bring you the best. 2801 South Washington.
The Polo Park Inn, the in-place to stay, with 106 rooms, 14 executive suites, 42 lanes of 10-pin bowling, an arcade and billiard room, the Big Blue Cocktail Lounge with live entertainment nightly, and the Breakaway Club featuring top 40 dance music and a stunning lake show. The Polo Park Inn is located just minutes from Winnipeg's major sports complex, and of course, the largest shopping center in the city. Come to where all the action is, the Polo Park Inn, the in-place to stay in Winnipeg.
Runner Georgine Johnson set out from the starting line of a race in Cleveland recently, thinking it was the 10-kilometer race she'd been training for. But a few miles into it, she started thinking maybe she was in the wrong race. Turns out she was. It was a 26-mile marathon that started from the same point the 10K race would start from later. Johnson was in tears and felt like quitting, but then she saw another runner whose shirt said, "Just do it." So she did. She finished her first ever marathon, finishing 83rd in the women's division. That's not bad. In sports, the Twins take on the Orioles in Baltimore for a two-game series. Pat has highlights from tonight's contest after this.